Shana Tova, everybody. Thank you for coming. Hello, everybody at home. Welcome to our members and our guests, our old friends and our new friends, and those of you in the sanctuary, and of course, those of you at home, to our service at Beth Shalom. We're so happy to have you here tonight. There have been many firsts for us in this last year and a half, and we worked hard to make these holidays work for everybody, being kind of a hybrid of live and streaming. So we ask your patience if there are any hiccups and difficulties along the way, but I think we're doing a good job. My name is Izzy Blum-Narden. I'm the Beth Shalom High Holiday Coordinator. I want to thank the many volunteers who have worked for many months to bring you these beautiful services. They include our prep team and our board, the Beth Shalom Choir, and leading our services tonight, we will have the Beth Shalom Quartet, our cantorial assistant, Dr. Hal Zanuck, and our beloved Rabbi Ariel Edery. Tomorrow morning service begins at 9:30 a.m., both here and streaming. We will have a Tashlik service at Lockmere Lake at 4 p.m., and the details for that will be on our website at the High Holiday section. Can I ask everyone in the sanctuary, please, except for those doing the service leaders, masks are required at all time, and be sure that you're wearing them correctly over your nose and under your chin. If you don't feel well during the service, maybe we would like you to go home and watch the remainder of the service online. Everyone check your cell phone to be sure they're on silent right now. And each of you, especially those new to the space, we have exit doors to the side and to the back. And in the event of any special incident, critical incident, the ushers will guide you which way is the safest way to go. And restrooms are located out that door and down the hall to the right. We have large print prayer books also available. Just ask an usher for that. And donation cards. We have donation cards for everybody, enough for everybody. They're on the desk. Please take one and give generously after the service. And now it is my pleasure to turn the service over to Rabbi Ariel Edery. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see faces we haven't seen in a while, and some that we have seen recently. So welcome, everyone. Shana Tova. Welcome, everyone also joining us from home. We have a new year to celebrate, the Rosh Hashanah, and we'll have plenty of singing and reflecting to share. And we'll begin with a song that is a welcoming song where we do two things. We welcome everyone, but we also welcome angels of peace that join us when we are here celebrating. This is Shalom Aleichem. And for our service tonight, this is our prayer book, our Machzor, and you all here also have our transliterations booklet. I'll be referring to the page in our book, and also here you have the transliteration, so everybody can join in singing, and we have some readings as well. What does it mean to be a congregation? It means to care about each other. Pray, we can also pray alone, by ourselves. But we come together as a congregation in order to share our life as Jews, to be part of the community of Israel, the past one, the present one, and the future one. Lighting our candles, we're reunited with Jews in all lands, who week by week, as has been done for thousands of years, celebrate our God-given gifts, creation, freedom, and community. So we'll invite you now to turn to our prayer book, and please open on page 49. And I'll invite you all please to rise. And Julie and Valerie, please join us at the lectern. On top of page 49.
With the setting of the evening sun, united with Jews of every place and time, we proclaim a new year of hope. May the light of the divine shine forth to lead us, to show us the good we must do, the harmony we must create. Let the fire we kindle be for us a warming flame, whose brightness shows us the path of life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Let us be seated, please. And also at the bottom of the page, we have a song, which is the song that we sing when we reach an important moment, and we don't want to take that for granted. This is Sheheyanu. We begin a new year. We're all here. So let us join singing. This is at the bottom of page 49. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekiyanu hekimanu vehikiyanu hazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekiyanu hekimanu vehikiyanu hazman hazeh. Now turn to page 51. We'll continue singing this beautiful poem and song, Psalm 121. I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from the eternal maker of heaven and earth. Esa Einai. Let us join, and in our transliterations booklet, you can find number 4.
Esaina El Horim Me'ayin Yavo Esri Me'an Adonai O say Shemayim V'Horet Esri Me'an Adonai O say Shemayim V'Horet
Esainai el harim me'ayin bavo esri. Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo esri.
Esri me'an Adonai O say
Shemayim haaretz. Esri me'ayin Adonai. O say Shemayim haaretz.
And let us continue at the bottom of page 51. In the twilight of the vanishing year, we lift our hearts in thanksgiving. Our souls are stirred by the memory of joy as the new year begins. We were sustained by love and kindness, comforted in times of sorrow, found happiness in our homes and gladness with our friends. We lift up our hearts in thanksgiving as the new year begins. As the new year begins, our spirit rise in grateful song. But there were dreams that came to naught, and times when we refused to dream. This, which much regret, we now remember as the new year begins. The new year begins, contritions fill our thoughts. Some of our days were dark and with grief. Many a tear furrowed our cheeks. Alas, for the tender ties that were broken. We look back with sorrow as the new year begins. The new year begins, tears well up within us. And yet, we look ahead with hope, giving thanks for the daily miracle of renewal, for the promise of good to come. May this Rosh Hashanah, birthday of the world, be our day of rebirth into life and peace, serenity and safety as the new year begins.
As the new year begins, so is hope reborn with us.
And at the bottom of the page, this is the mitzvah from Torah. In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, there shall be a sacred assembly, a cessation from work, a day of commemoration, proclaimed by the sound of shofar. Let us all please rise. We'll continue on page 53.
Tikayu v'hoda shofar v'keser yom hageinu ki ha'ol Yisrael mishpat el hayakol.
Yehi ratzon milefanecha. May this new year, called 5782, bring to us and the whole house of Israel life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort.
May this new year bring us life and peace, joy and exaltation, redemption and comfort. Amen.
And we'll continue turning the page. On page 54, we'll continue with Baruch Hu, and let us remain standing as we open the Aron HaKodesh. At the bottom of the page, praise be the eternal God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings on the evening.
With
With
wisdom,
wisdom you open heaven's gates, with understanding you make the ages pass and the seasons alternate. Your will controls the stars as they travel through the sky. Creator of day and night, You hurl light away from darkness, and darkness from light. You cause day to pass, and bring on the night. The God of all being is your name. O living and eternal God, rule us always to the end of time. Blessed is the God whose words in
Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Baravim.
Amen. And we'll join now singing Ahavat Olam. This is on page 55 in our transliterations number 6.
Ahavat Olam Bet Israel Amhavta Torah U'Mitzvot Kukim Mishpatim Otanu Lema'adetam Elohim Adonai Eloheinu Veshomeinu Kuleinu Nasiach Ukeiha V'nitzvah V'nivarei Torateha U'mitzvoteha Le'olam va'ed Yiken Chayeinu Ve'yorech Yameinu U'bahem Nagen Yomam Ve'aylo
Baruch atah Adonai, Elohei B'amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Let us be seated. We continue Shema from these words of Torah on page 56, transliterations number 7. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. On page 57, all this we hold to be true and sure. You alone are our God, there is none else, and we are Israel, your people.
You
Are
are
sovereign, delivering us from the hand of oppressors, saving us from the fist of tyrants, doing wonders without number, marvels that pass our understanding. You give us our life. With your help, our people has survived all our oppressors. You did wonders for us in the land of Egypt, miracles and marvels in the land of Pharaoh. You led your people Israel out forever to serve you in freedom. When your children witnessed your power, they extolled you and gave you thanks. Freely they acclaim your sovereign and full of joy. Moshe and Miriam and all Israel sang this song. This song is Mi Chamocha from Torah on page 58, our transliterations number 8.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nera bar kodesh, Nora tehilo osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, pokei hayam lifnei Moshe ve'eli amru, Adonai yimno le'olam ba'ed.
Ki fodayanu Yaakov, ugalom yachazach mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, God Yisrael.
Amen. On page 59, cause us, O eternal God, to lie down in peace and raise us up, O sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war and famine and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful ruler, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace. Blessed are you, O God, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all Israel, and over Jerusalem. And we're going to sing, this is on the very top of page 59, the words we just said in English, in the original Hebrew, Hapores, Sukkot Shalom, and in our transliterations at the bottom, number 9.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Israel. Yerushalayim, ve'akol yoshvei Tevel. Yerushalayim, shalom. Yerushalayim, ve'akol yoshvei Tevel. Yerushalayim, shalom. Adonai, haporei Sukkot Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'akol amo Yisrael.
And we now continue with Kaddish on the top of page 60 in our transliterations, number 11.
Yikadah, Yikadah, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'amad divahirute, v'yamlech mahute, v'hayechon, v'yomechon, v'chayei dekal bet Yisrael, v'alav z'makori v'yamru. Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam U'L'olmei Almaya Yitbarach.
Yitbarak, v'yishtabak, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitbama v'naseh, v'yitadar, v'yitala, v'yitala, Shemei Dekudusha, B'richu, Le'ilah, Mimka Bircha V'shivata,
Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran V'yama V'imru. Amen. And I'll invite you now to turn to our transliteration booklet and find number 44. Number 44. We have come here on this holy day to hear the prayers, to hear the cantor, to hear the music. Judaism begins with the commandment, "Hear, O Israel." But what does it really mean to hear? The person who attends a concert while thinking of other matters hears but does not really hear. The person who walks amid the songbirds thinking only of what will be served for dinner hears but does not really hear. The person who listens to the words of a friend or mate or child and does not catch the underlying note, "Notice me, help me, care about me," hears but does not really hear. The person who stifles the sound of conscience, saying, "I have done enough already," hears but does not really hear. The person who listens to a rabbi's sermon and thinks that someone else is being addressed hears but does not really hear. The person who hears a shofar and does not sense its call to change hears but does not really hear. As we begin a new year and enter a holy day, we pray for the strengthening of our ability to hear. May we hear the music of the world, the sounds of life, the expressions rising from our souls. May we hear the subtle calls for help of the saddened spirits. May we hear between the words of our friends. May we listen for their unspoken pleas, hopes, and dreams. And may we hear within ourselves the pending promises we made yesterday. May we listen to the invitations and possibilities that life is offering to us for tomorrow, that we reflect and return to our best today. And we'll now join for the Amidah. The Amidah is our standing prayer. It begins at the bottom of page 60 in our book and in our transliterations, number 12. So let us all rise and we face towards the east, towards the Aron HaKodesh. If you're at home, you want to orient yourself with us, find that east corner and we join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avoteinu V'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, Vehanora, El Elyon, Gomer, Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, הוא מביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך החפץ בחיים. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך החפץ בחיים. וקודמנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני העפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך מימית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע. מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצורה ולחיים ברחמים. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Amen. Let us be seated, please. We'll continue on page 64, the blessing for this holy day, in the middle of the page. The house of Israel is called to holiness, to a covenant with the eternal for all time. We are called to serve the Most High. May we rejoice in this heritage forever. May this day add meaning to our lives. Let the shofar sound awaken the voice of conscience. Our common worship unite us in love. Our memories of bondage impel us to help the oppressed. Amen. 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 Let us join also on top of page 65. On this day of remembrance, we pray for awareness. Let love and compassion grow among us, and goodness be our daily care. This day may we find well-being. This day may we discover the eternal strength that abides among us. This day may we be helped to a life that is whole. And we'll continue singing on page 66. This is Retzeh, and we have a beautiful version of Retzeh in our transliterations. If you find number 15.
In our praise and in our prayer, may we know you everywhere. Oh Adonai, oh Adonai. And when troubles cloud our mind, may there be new strength we find. And in everything we do, may we be closer to you. Let's say Adonai, Eloheinu, Be'amcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam, Be'ahava tekabel, Be'ahava
At the bottom of page 66 is our Hoda'ah, our expression of gratitude. A world where miracles spring up to meet us along the way, we hold you close and give thanks for morning light, for evening calm.
Sun
Sun
and
and moon, sea and sky, snow and mist, city streets and country lanes. A joy to know you, how excellent to touch you. To live and nothing more would be enough to make us glad. Yet morning, noon, and night, a task awaits us. The lost and hungry to be found and fed, the sick and sad to be healed and cheered, a peaceful world to be built and kept. Blessed is the gift of life, blessed the source of life and its success. And I'd like now to invite Lisa Grafstein, please, to join us at the Bima for a reflection that is inspired by the words of Rabbi Mordechai Kaplan.
An artist cannot be continually wielding the brush. The painter must stop at times from the painting to freshen his or her vision of the object, the meaning of which the artist wishes to express on canvas. Our holy times represent such moments, when we pause in our brushwork to freshen our vision. What am I working for? What are we building? What will I leave behind me? We look for a moment of clarity when we envision ourselves at our best and see a picture of you and me, of all, living a good life together. Then we turn back again to that unique work of art which each one of us is making, our life with our choices. If we can resume our painting with clarified vision and renewed energy, then our prayers were answered.
So we'll do that now. We'll take a moment for pause and reflection and inspiration, and we'll be enjoying some beautiful music. So we conclude the Amidah with this beautiful song from the book of Psalms, Psalm 19, Ihiyu Leratzon. This is on page 68 and in our booklet number 16. At this moment in our service, we turn our thoughts and our prayers for healing, for recovery. We bring to mind all those whom we know in need of healing and recovery. We pray that that healing and recovery is happening. And we join together with all our thoughts and prayers singing Mishe Berach. This is on our transliterations, number 18. We now turn to page 69 for Avinu Malkeinu, and I'll invite you all, please, to rise and join us, and my pleasure to welcome Seth at the Bima as well. This is page 69. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have sinned against you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our children. Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to sickness, war, and famine. Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to all oppression. Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us for blessing in the book of life. Avinu Malkeinu, let the new year be a good year for us. Avinu Malkeinu, give strength to your people Israel. Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious and answer us, for we have little merit. Treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help. And you can join us singing also transliterations number 19.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu, V'alol aleinu, V'tapenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale dever, V'cherev rav, me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale chotzar, Umastin, me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Koadvenu, Besefer Chaim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu, Chadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koaleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu, ki banu asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah Let us all be seated, please. This summer, just a few weeks ago, I have the opportunity to visit my family, which I have not seen in a long time, mother and siblings and children, and they live in Israel. So I was able to visit there, and I stayed in a small town called Yafo. And you may have heard of it. Yafo is at the very south end of Tel Aviv. You also might have heard of Yafo if you read your Bible. Remember Prophet Jonah got on a boat and then got eaten by the fish and all that story? According to the Bible, the port he went to take the boat was Yafo. Beautiful port right there, a place that has thousands of years of history. Something very unique is there with Yafo, other than its history. It's that nowadays, it's a city in Israel that is very much shared between Israeli Jews and Israeli Arabs. And they live together, coexisting, often with some conflict, very often doing fine. I stayed there, and I stayed literally 2 blocks from what I think is one of the biggest attractions right there in Yafo. It's a bakery. It's called the Abulafia Bakery. Abulafia is the last name of a family, and there are several brothers that some 30 years ago started the bakery. And people come from all over the country in Israel, very often on Shabbat, since nobody's working, and they come to Yafo just to go there and eat wonderful things that they make there at that bakery. And of course, I was there, have a sweet tooth, so I visited that bakery almost every day. And one day, it was a Friday, and I went there in the morning, and on my way, I also grabbed the newspaper. And, you know, Friday, as you know, before Shabbat in Israel is a big day. So Friday newspaper is like Sunday newspaper. It's a big supplement for the whole weekend. And I went, grabbed something to eat from the bakery, brought it back to the apartment, and I started looking at the newspaper, and what do I see? An interview with the brothers Abulafia from that bakery where I just saw them there selling me some food. And this is what I learned. In that interview, they tell us that place was very popular, Jews and Arabs coming, but one day it wasn't. And in 2001, an Israeli Jewish extremist went on a shooting spree and went to that bakery. He didn't like that coexistence and actually shot one of the brothers, brother Khaled. He was not killed, but he was paralyzed. And this is what the brother said in this interview 20 years later. I'll quote, "That shooting taught me that everything can be ended in a moment. One stupid guy comes and makes life a nightmare. But this event sent us to do the very opposite. Because of it, my brothers and I created an organization to promote Arab-Jewish coexistence. Because of that, our bakery organized donations of thousands of shekels to restore and repair the neglected old synagogue in the middle of the Arab neighborhood. Because of that, we created scholarship for Jewish and Arab kids from Yafo to get education. And because of that, we established a bilingual preschool. That shooter wanted to terminate these things, but in the end, it only strengthened them." When you go to that bakery, you see a sign, and it's a sign that thankfully I saw all over town that says, "Jews and Arabs refusing to be enemies." And the sign is still there, 20 years after that shooting. And I wanted to share this because it's no surprise that people who live in Yafo or in Israel or in the Middle East have plenty of conflict and plenty of trauma accumulated over the years of this type of conflict. For many, For many, that trauma is something that is not just in the past. They carry it with them. We call that PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, when people stay trapped in the pain of that trauma. That's not what happened with Khaled and his brothers. Not at all. Instead, than being trapped by the pain of that event and that trauma of being shot, what happened with him and with them is that they didn't develop PTSD, they developed PTG. Have you heard of PTG? I'm not making this up. The American Psychological Association defines PTG this way. Following a traumatic experience, some people develop new understandings of themselves, new understandings of the world they live in, how to relate to other people, the kind of future they might have, and they get a better understanding of how to live their life. This is exactly what Khaled and family did as a result of that traumatic event 20 years earlier. There's a psychologist, Richard Tedeschi is his name, who is the one who coined this term, post-traumatic growth. And he runs a program to help veterans in Denver, Colorado, helps them overcome PTSD and develop some growth. And this is what he says. We help people as they develop new principles for living that involve altruistic behavior, having a mission in life, a purpose that goes beyond oneself, so that trauma is transformed into something that is useful, not only for oneself, but also for others. So I was thinking of all this as I was thinking of these high holidays and how we started the new year. And I remember how we started the last high holidays. We were here, there was nobody here, everybody was just at home. And we started wishing that all the bad things from, was it 2020, will be over. Well, we're here now in 2021, 5782, a new year, and we had a tough year, a very tough year. And I think that we have to name it. This was not, a year with ups and downs like many years. A year with a lot of trauma. In this year, I don't need to tell you, we lost friends, family, we lived in isolation, we lost time with our loved ones, we missed graduations, missed weddings, funerals, we missed hugs with our friends and families, we became stressed, anxious, worrying every day, angry. This pandemic is a traumatic event. It is a trauma. I don't need to tell you that. And this is what I think the story of Khaled and brothers and all the others, it's important for us. Because we can't undo the trauma of last year any more than Khaled can undo the bullet that shot him. But we can decide to do something different with that trauma. So these high holidays, I would not like to do like last year and simply express our wishes for a sweet new year, our problems to be gone. We will do that too. That's also good. But these high holidays, I want to invite all of us to do something more, to take time and actually look at all this trauma of this past year and choose to do our own PTG, our post-traumatic growth, and decide how we're going to do it. So we don't just mourn for the things we missed or lost, but also we make this a moment where we can learn something, realign our priorities, assess better what are those things in life that we really care about the most. So we can then refocus on energies on those things and on those people and on those communities that we learn that we value more than anything. This is a poem from Michael Josephson I wanted to share with you. I asked for ease, and I got hardships that taught me endurance. I asked for confidence, and I got hazards that made me courageous. I asked for power, and I got frustrations and failures that taught me perseverance. I asked to be loved, and discovered serving others made me loving. I asked for fun, and I got family and friends that gave me fulfillment. I asked for success, and I got opportunities to make me self-reliant. I asked for wealth, and I got a moral conscience that made me worthy. I got nothing I asked for, but everything I needed. So I'd like to conclude with the prayer and the wishes for these high holidays, for this Rosh Hashanah, for this new year beginning today. May we never again take for granted breathing deeply without a mask, having a get-together with friends, a busy airport, a birthday party with hugs, having loved ones hold your children and holding other children, enjoying dinner at the restaurant with family and friends. May we never again take for granted the greeting, the handshake, or the hug welcoming a visitor who is new to our congregation. The catching up conversation that we have after services at the Oneg, sharing our week. A synagogue that is crowded for celebrations. The presence of fellow congregants who are there to comfort us at difficult times just with their presence. The children running up and down and in the bima and making all these Shema signs and noises right here at this synagogue. Holding together a challah with lots of hands on it and tearing a piece with your own hand and eating it and sharing it. Taking a kiddush cup with sweet grape juice or wine and sharing that sweetness with our family and with our friends. So this year, may we try and succeed in our growth. May this year be better than the one which has passed because of the one which has passed. May the losses we experienced last year be our guide to what we will try again to gain in this new year. Renewed appreciation for life in its big and small moments. Investing more in our personal relationships because that's really our treasure. Finding new possibilities, personal goals, and also in the life in our community. May this be a year of overcoming, of renewed energies, a year of growth. May the traumas of yesterday be our inspiration for tomorrow. May the traumas of yesterday be our additional motivation for making the best today. Shana Tova, wishing everyone a good, sweet new year, a year of growth. Shana Tova. We'll return to our Siddur, we'll return to our prayer book, and I'll invite you to join us on page 43. We'll join for Aleinu, so I'll invite everyone please to rise. Page 43. In our transliterations, number 21.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה
ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We remain standing to recite Kaddish on page 45. When we recite Kaddish, we bring to mind the lives of loved ones who are no longer with us, and we bring to mind all the blessings that we receive through their lives. So remembering each one our loved ones, let us join together. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחי יכון וביום יכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דעם ירם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו amen. And let us remain standing so we can join together with Kiddush. Kiddush is actually on page 71. We need to turn forward in our prayer book to page 71. And in our transliterations, you find it number 22. Number 22. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam boreh pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol העם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה, יום תרועה מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ודברך אמת וקיים לעד. ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ, מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. לחיים, שנה טובה. Please be seated. We have one more song, and that song had to do with the apples and honey that we have here, wishing a sweet Shana Tova to everyone. But before we turn to that song, I want to point out to all those of you who are here that we have some things that we hope you take with you. This is an invitation for pizza night on Shabbat for Sukkot. We're going to be at the Sukkah. This is in about 2 weeks, celebrating. So please plan on attending. You saw probably the donation cards, which are very appreciated. And also, we have a program where we put together all kinds of opportunities for learning, for continuing learning, for adults, for doing all the things we used to do, debating, discussing, and food. take a look. This is a list of beautiful programs. I'm sure you'll find something that will be interesting to you. For everyone at home, this also will be on our website, and you can access that also at any time. And we'd love to see you joining all those beautiful programs. I need to thank so many people and so much, so I'll do it briefly. Of course, our Schleppenwolf and Hal and Barnaby and Jamie and Mike, also behind the scenes, people who are at helping us with the parking and with the tickets and the greeting. One of the things that is a secret privilege that I have as a rabbi is that I get to be for these high holidays, not just for the services, but before, earlier, and see the amount of hours and effort and dedication and work that many of you put in making this happening. And to me, that's already inspirational even before we started the high holidays. So thank you all, and you know who you are. Shana Tova to all of you. Our final song is called Tapuchim Udvash, Apples and Honey for Rosh Hashanah, and you'll find it right here on number 24.
Tapuki Uvas, la Rosh Hashanah. Tapuki Uvas, la Rosh Hashanah. Shana Tova, Shana Metuka. Shana Tova, Shana Metuka. Tapuki Uvas, la Rosh Hashanah. Shana Tova, Shana Metuka, Tapuki Uvas, Rosh Hashanah. Tapuki Uvas, Rosh Hashanah.
Wow, Metuka, sweet New Year, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, in the morning, in the afternoon for Tashlich, second day of Rosh Hashanah. Wonderful to enjoy the high holidays together. Shana Tova.